introverted sensing and extroverted thinking. Like I could see them. I could see them doing that because you see all types able to utilize their inferior and predatory functions, the third or fourth.
There's ones that are healthy, but the unhealthy ones. I'm just thinking, like, if not everybody is going to want to change, if that makes sense. Change is not really that easy and it's extremely difficult. I noticed for myself it was pretty rocky. But, like, I don't even... Like, it was really bad before. Like, I would not want to take care of myself at all. Like, my health was really bad. So, I don't know.
You wouldn't eat?
Like, I would forget to eat. I would do a bunch of things just not take care of myself, basically. And I would get sick a lot. So, I'm just thinking for
I can relate.
Yeah, like I noticed, like, my mom, she's like I forgot her type. She's probably a sensor, introverted sensor. Like, she, at least with her, I remember when, like, raising me and stuff, at least, like, I had some of that to help me motivate myself to, like, be alive. I don't know.
See, my mom was an ENFJ. She helped me to some extent because I was always off in my own head. But, like, when I reached, I think, 20 or 21, that's when no outside or external influence impacted the way in which my mind worked. Like, I reached a point where I could go camping for months on my own. I could go exploring a different part of Australia completely on my own. And that was really up to my own thinking, my own planning, and things like that. So yeah, it's hard for me actually to relate to people, like, because I've been operating on a source of, like, individuality for so long now that I feel like if I don't keep trying to relate to people like you online or just people in general, then I'm going to, like, lose the ability to empathize completely, because it's like once you completely detach from external values, external standards of thinking, external ideology, then all of that shit just becomes completely meaningless.
Yeah.
It just means nothing to me. Like, all of this, like, talking in an amicable way when I'm at raves, or, like, talking in formal ways, hi, how are you, and shit like that, means nothing to me, because you know already, whoever you're talking to, if they're going to connect based on your ideology. They're not going to connect based on saying, hi, my name's Adam, hi, like, in a really nice way. They're not going to connect based on that. So they're going to connect based on an ideology, not on stupid shit.
Yes. I don't know, it's interesting, because it's weird for me, because I think I do use FE, but for me, it's, I don't know. I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like, sometimes I'm aware of, like, other people, and I do, at least to the point that I'm aware of, I usually do seem to care, but at the same time, I'm kind of unaware of things, so I don't always react to every single thing.
Yeah, when I go to raves, I often... Sorry? You don't often...
I don't know how to explain it in words.
Okay. But I can relate in the sense that, like, when I go to raves, I don't know how to relate to people, but I seem to just, I often process things way too cerebrally. So, like, when somebody asks, hi, how are you? I would think that a response is, like, by default necessary to say, this is how I am. Like, I am like this. But instead, I've realized over time that I can just look at them and just be like, just smile and not say anything, and just be like, and then they will take that as my response rather than me actually using my mouth to elicit vibrations and them to receive a response. So like I've realized over time that I don't need to like process every single thing that people say in the explicit sense, and I can just be like, I honestly don't like talking to people when I go out to raves. Like I just like talking to them as minimally as I can, because talking just sucks. It's just like, I have to elicit these vibrations, because if I don't, then these cultural attitudes will start to think that I'm weird or something. So it's just like, I'll just respond in whatever needless, minimal way that I can in order to quell the weird, insane views of society. Because I truly do think that the vast majority of society is completely insane, and it's easier that way. It's just like, why should I try to like explain why I'm feeling when I know that they don't give a fuck anyway? It's just like, I'll just be like, I'll just give a facial smile, and that will reveal to them what they need to know.
Yeah, it's a little off note. Sometimes I always like make that awkward eye contact with somebody, and it's like I want to say hello, but I feel like hello is too much. I learned that a nod and like a smile usually works, but sometimes I forget to do that. So I'll get like in this weird shit, I forgot to smile, and then I'm like a half a second late, and then I'm like, nope, my brain's malfunctioning now, and I don't know, like
I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, but
I used to do that all the time before I started camping on my own and exploring the country like on my own. I was so delayed in real time. I don't know how to make that make sense, but like when I would go to raves, when people would say, "Hi, how are you?" I'd be thinking about something of the context that happened way before, and I wouldn't be able to communicate in real time how I was feeling. So everybody would look at me like this weird person who was like just like thinking about things and not responding to people. So I can actually relate to that, but these days I don't do that. It's just
if I'm spaced out,
yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say, if I'm spaced out, usually I'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, I was spacing out." That's usually my explanation.
Yeah, I actually say that a lot when I'm at raves. I say, because to be completely honest, I was going to say it's because I'm just like in my own head, but to be completely honest, it's like I don't find the conversations of people interesting, like at all. Like I don't find their conversations at all interesting. So when I hear their conversations, I start thinking about what they're saying and what it means, and it's just like these are vibrations coming from humans that don't understand anything. So I start thinking about them as just like sheer vibrations, and then that vibration becomes white noise. So it's just like shh. It's just like I would rather focus on my own internal thoughts than listen to this. And then once I do that, they caught me. They'll call me out on not listening to them, and then I'll be like, oh shit, what were you saying?
Yeah. For me, it's a little different. It's like I'll be listening to what they're saying. Well, first off, I guess I don't really talk as much, so I don't really get into the situation. I mean, I do space out, but when I'm talking to someone, I usually try to ask more interesting questions.
Yeah.
Because for me, I have trouble talking, because most of the time I'm concerned about what to say. I usually don't know what to say, because I'll have an idea in my head, but I don't know how to say it with like communicable words like that are understandable to other people. Like I notice for me with conversations when it's like Um, usually it'll die down at some point. I try to ask questions before it gets to this point where it dies. So it's like there's more fuel for the conversation and more ideas for me to latch onto and talk about or ask more questions about. Because I notice people tend to be having more engaged conversations when I ask questions about something. I kind of have to dig a little bit. Like, I'm like, I want to get into something interesting. At the same time, I can't talk about like, I can't like my style of like humor is a little bit weird.
Yeah,
So
same.
instead of going full out, I kind of test it. I sort of have like a lighter form of it and see how they respond to that, and then go from there. And then kind of try to slowly amp it up if they're feeling it. If that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense.
But
Like,
it's really cool when I find someone that's like totally on the same page. I'm like, whoa.
yeah, no, it makes complete sense, but it's just like for me, I can relate to that, but I don't mean to sound hot-headed. I'm 24. How old are you?
21.
When I was 21, I would do that. When I was 21, I wanted to hear the opinions of people. But at 24, it's just like I really don't mean to sound, because lots of people like say to me at rapes, "Oh, you've got some sort of god complex, and you're really arrogant." It's not that. It's just that I can already predict what they're going to say, and
Yeah.
I don't mean. And it's just like, why should I even ask this question?
It's for me. It's like I'm trying to get to know this person. At the same time, I'm thinking, where can I make things interesting, or where can I change it to make it
Yeah.
interesting for me? I guess if that makes sense.
I've already been processing their mind on a cold aluminium table. Like, I've already been trying to just dissect their mind.
And at the
And
same
I've
time,
already,
sorry.
I just think their mind is so predictable that I can dissect it easily and find where they are probably going to make these certain opinions. So their opinions just don't seem interesting in any way, shape, or form. It just seems like this is what's going to happen based on the electrons from the environment
Could it also
influencing the
be, yeah, could it also be a possibility that it's just they're wearing a certain a mask
yeah.
you know what I mean? So they all
That's
tend
what
to
makes
have
it
the
interesting
standard.
too.
They all have like the standard kind of the standard kind of like safe answers and safe opinions because. Gee, if I tell this guy my crazy shit, he might flip out on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
They
totally
might
know
be a
what
little
you
scared. I noticed that too. Like a big motivation for a lot of people will be fear. Fear. I break things down and I usually find a lot fear, shame, or guilt.
mean. It's just
Not
dumb shit.
everybody.
It's really dumb shit though. Like
I know, but there's
fear,
limitations.
fear
Like
and guilt. Fear and guilt are dumb emotions.
yeah, but I mean,
Like
I had it myself.
I felt them when I was young, but I don't feel them anymore. Like
Well,
they
yeah.
just feel like really stupid shit to think about. Like I don't understand why you'd actually want to feel guilt or feel shame over things that aren't really shameful or aren't really guilt.
Well, it's probably something I feel like it'd be subconscious. Like it'd be some kind of thought they hold in their brain for a really long time, but they never actually said it out loud to fully see. Because I don't remember what it was. There was something I had in my head, and for so long time, I would always have it in my mind, but I never said it out loud or anything. And when I finally said it out loud, I realized, wow, this is really stupid. Why did I think this whole time? What
I
the heck?
know, right?
Wait,
I've
this
had
is
those exact
retarded.
same thoughts. I've had those exact same thoughts.
Yeah.
It's just like there's like it's the human mind. The human mind works in mysterious ways, and it's just like it's not